Hi, I'm Mark at the Caravan Place, and today I'm going to show you how to set up and use the Rollerteam 746. So we've got a 2016 Rollerteam Auto Roller 746. I'll just whiz around the outside quickly just to familiarise yourself with everything that's on this. On the driver's side, first little compartment there, or first little thing, is the Truma vent. So that is the vent for the Truma boiler. So when you're using the boiler on gas, all of the gases are going to come out of there. So when you're using it, just don't put anything to block that up, basically. Nothing else that you really need to do with that. We've got our fill point for our water. So on the keys, you can open that cap up like a petrol cap, remove that cap, and then just pop a hose in on site, and that will fill your onboard water tank up. You'll see there's an overflow on the water tank, basically. So if when you're filling that up you see loads of water coming out the bottom, it's basically that you're full, and stop putting any more water in because it's going on the floor. Next up, we've got our cassette toilet. So to open this up is just the two buttons there. We've got the actual cassette in there. We've got a little 3 amp fuse, which again we always need to just make sure that that is okay and is not blown, because that's going to do our flush water, basically. The flush water is off the mains supply, so we don't have to fill a separate little tank or anything. And then to remove it, we've got the little yellow handle. We pull that up, and then this just pulls out. Now, to actually empty the cassette itself, we pop the nozzle out, remove the cap, and then just at the back we've got the yellow little button. So we hold that in, and then that releases the air, or lets air in, and lets everything come out of the cassette nice and easily. The site will have an Elson point clearly marked, and that's where you're going to empty the cassette. If afterwards you want to clean this up and just freshen it through, just remove the cap, open it with the little yellow tab there, and then you can put blue chemical in there, give it a rinse through, give it a wash through, clean through, etc. And then just literally pop that back in, pop the cover back on, and then this will just literally slide straight back in. At the back we've just got a big garage locker, basically, so that just goes underneath the seating area for storage. Coming around to the rear, we've got a tow bar fitted on there. So this has got 13-pin electrics, so if you are going to tow a little trailer or anything like that, just make sure that you've got either an adapter or you've actually got the 13-pin socket on there. We've got the bike rack, and then just up there we've got the reversing camera. We have got parking sensors on this as well, and again with the reversing camera, just makes life a little bit easier. Coming back now to the door side, the passenger side, the near side, we've got our locker. Again, these just turn, that opens up, and then that's like our little garage, basically. We've got our little hose in there, we've got a mains cable, we have got the leg for the awning, which that has actually got a part missing, so we just need to pop that back on there for you. There's parts in there for the bike rack and a few other bits and pieces as well. There's a levelling ramp, and plenty of storage straight in the back there. To lock this back up, it's literally turn these back in, put the key into the locked position, and then when you push those in, they will just stop in the in position. Further along, we have got the mains plug-in, so that's where your mains cable will plug in and give you 230-volt power. Now, if you haven't got mains connected, everything will still work off 12-volt, but obviously anything that you plug in that is mains electric isn't going to work. So hair dryers, TVs, if they're 230-volt, Anything with a 3-pin plug isn't going to work unless that is connected up. Fridge vents, so that's where the gases off the fridge are going to vent out, so nothing to really do on there. You can get winter covers, which if it's really cold and it's winter, you can put those on there. Next along we've got the Gaslow system. So this is set up so that you can go to the auto gas stations and fill it straight back up. You're not going to keep buying gas bottles. The bottles are pretty much full as it is at the moment, and they've got the little indicators, and there's a little indicator just on that one. Once it is full and we want to use the system, it's literally just a case of turning it on either on the top of that bottle, and that just screws into the on position, or we've got on and off on the other bottle. So before we get gas into the motorhome, that is how we're going to turn it into the on position to put the gas through. Now when we go to a filling station and we actually want to fill up with auto gas, this is where we're going to do it. So this connector here, we'll remove this, and then our fitting is here. Now most of the auto gas pumps are set up for this fitting. Some auto gas stations that you go to, they will do it for you. If not, it basically looks like a petrol pump fitting, with the end will screw and turn. So you just need to make sure that the end is lined up, and we've got 2 little notches either side here that will locate on, and then the pump will actually, the end will turn. So we just make sure that that is pushed in and located, and then as I say, it's a turn roughly 45 to 90 degrees on the end, and it will lock into place. You can then pull the trigger on, and when you pull the trigger back on the auto gas fill pump, you'll notice that a little clip comes over and holds the pump in place. When you then look at the filling pump, basically there'll be a button on there to actually fill the system up. You'll basically hold that in for about 10 seconds, a good firm push in and a hold in, and that will then start to fill the system up. It will take, if they're completely empty, it's going to take a good 3 or 4 minutes to fill both pumps up. And you'll notice on the gauge of the actual pump, it will really start to slow down how much it's putting in when it's pretty much 80% full, and that's the point when then you want to turn it off. You'll notice on the bottles that they'll be back up into the full section. They'll only go to 80%. You don't want to overfill these bottles. You just basically then turn the pump off, release the handle, and you'll hear it sort of make a whooshing sound, a blowback sound, releasing the pressure. That's completely normal, that's what it's supposed to do. Turn the nozzle, remove it, and then it's just a case of refit the cover here back on, and off you go. The first time it's going to be a little bit nerve-wracking because you'll have never done it before, but once you've done it once, it will all make sense, and it will be an awful lot easier to actually do and get on with. Normal filling with diesel, and the filler cap is just at the side here. We need the key to remove that, and just remember it is diesel, so don't get putting any other fuel in there. We'll have a look inside and just run you through how to work everything inside. Okay, so we've plugged our electric in, and that just basically plugs in as I said. We've turned our gas bottle on, so again just literally straight on top into the on position, and we're ready to now go inside. And start turning things on. So just above the door we've got our control panel, so we've got our main on and off button. We've got either the battery on the front engine side, or we've got the battery actually in the vehicle at the back. We've got our water level, so that'll tell us how much water that we've got in the tank. So one of the first things that we need to do is fill that water tank with water. We've got our internal temperature, and then we haven't got an external temperature on there, so it is just our internal. We've got our lights, so we can then press that one, and that will put the power through to our lights. We will have then little switches dotted around for our little lights. The kitchen has got its own little push button light just on the side there. We've got little lights just underneath here that again have got little switches on. That one's got that one, and then that one's already on with its own little switch just there. So we've got another little light switch just here. Now that is going to put the little bathroom LED on at the bottom, so a little blue light. And then we've got the other lights, which we've got a switch just at the bottom there, and that will put all of our bathroom lights on. Just by the kitchen area, we've also got the light for above the unit, and we've got some little lights underneath here. And then just above the door, we've also got the awning light just there. So when we press that one, that will put our awning light on and off. So that's just the button, just on our panel, just above. Now we've also got our water pump switch. So when we want the water to come through, we hit that one and that turns the water pump on. You will hear just underneath of the seating area the actual pump kick in, and that will sort of make the noise just to say that that's on. Obviously we need to fill the water system up with the hose just before we put that water pump on and get the water through the system. Other little icons on the system, so we've got, just saying that we've got 230 plugged in, and then our batteries, just to say that we've got both batteries being charged on the system as well. So that's actually the cab battery and the habitation battery. There's a little sensor just at the side there. Now that's just for the temperature, so when we're using the heating system, that will just read the temperature. So we've now put some water in, so literally on the filler on the outside we've filled up to about 33%. Now just before we go into the water system, I'm going to show you just underneath this seat here, which is where the actual water tank is. Now if you wanted to drain the water system down, we literally remove the cap, and then there's a white handle just inside of there. We pull that up and that will then empty our complete water system. So for winter etc, if we wanted to empty that through, that is how we do it, and that is just underneath of this seat, and then the cushion just goes back into place. So we've got our water system on, we'll put our water pump on, and then we can start to get the water through the system. And basically as we put our tap on, that will bring the water then through once we've put it above. Now if we had drained the system down, it might take a good 5 or 10 minutes just to get the water through the system and get all of the taps working as they are now. Once we've got our taps through, so we've got a nice steady flow of water, we'll do the same in the bathroom and with the shower. We know then our water system's nice and full, and then when we come to put our heating etc on, that isn't going to cause us any issues. We'll do the same with the gas, so we've made sure that outside our gas system is full, and what we're now going to do is just get the gas through. And this is the easiest way to get the gas through the system, because we can physically see that we've got the gas there. That means then that when we come to light up the fridge, the heating system, if we're using it on the gas, it's just going to light up a lot quicker. Now on the oven, we've actually got a dual grill and oven, and it just depends which way that we put our control dial. So if we want the grill, an igniter actually on this one, hit the igniter, and there we go. And then if we want the oven, we're going to turn the dial the other way, and then we've got the oven. Just pop the fridge on next. So again, on the fridge we've got our on and off button. We've got gas, so if we'll give that 30 seconds, a minute or so, just to light up on the gas side of things, you'll hear it ticking, and then you should hear the flame actually light up and start burning away. We've got our thermostat, so we can control how cold our fridge gets. If we want 230, just press our 230 volt. And then if we were running on the vehicle, when we start the vehicle up, that will then stop making the warning light. So I'll just go ahead now and just start the engine, and then that can be on as we're travelling along. So then once we've got the engine started, that will then stop with the warning light, and that will just keep then the fridge cool as we travel along. It's not going to freeze it down like it will on the gas or electric, but it will just keep it cool, just work as like a cool box basically. Turn that one back off is just the on and off button. We've then got our heating settings, so just over on here we've got our Truma combi boiler, and in the middle we've got the off. We've got our heating, so that will do our internal heating, and then we can put the thermostat to where we want that to. At the bottom is heating and hot water, and then if we didn't want heating on but we wanted hot water, we can go all the way to the top and we can put our hot water on either 40 degrees or 60 degrees, and this will just work off our gas system then, and then that will just heat the hot water without anything on. If we didn't want anything on at all, so we didn't want either heating or hot water, just back into the middle and that's off. So quite nice and simple. Heating, hot water, and then just hot water on 40 or on 60. And as I say, in the middle we've got our little wheel, so that will control the temperature that we want that to then inside the vehicle. Goes all the way from 1 up to 5. Back into the middle is off. Into the bathroom area we've got our cassette toilet. Now for our flush water, as I say, we need the system to be full of water, so we need to have filled our onboard water tank, as when we press this pulls the water in from the onboard water tank. So the little blue puts the flush water through, and then just at the bottom we've got the little grey handle that will then open up and let everything through, and then just back towards the rear, and that closes that back down again. The rear U-shaped seating, this makes into a big bed. We basically just pull out from here, this comes all the way to the end, and then our back cushions just go into the middle here, and that makes into a huge double bed. We've got the bed over cab, and then we've also got the little side dinette. On our side dinette then, we drop the table down, and our 2 back cushions, the smaller ones, just drop into the middle, and that makes our bed up. Hopefully you've got to grips with how everything works. If there's anything that you're not sure about, just let us know. Thanks, I'm Mark at the Caravan Place.